You know she's getting filled by some black stud. You know there's some black fucking bull that's just filling her with cock meat, giving her the real fuck she deserves. Some big black bull just filling her with cock meat. And that's his crazy talk.
Yes, indeed, that is crazy talk. And we are live. How are we all doing tonight, folks? A couple of comments in the chat. Somebody asked what I thought of the new Ghostbusters trailer. I think the two words that sum me up there is cautiously optimistic. I'm, it's supposed to have Dan Aykroyd and I think Bill Murray in it, but it certainly doesn't look like they're going to play any kind of major role. But that's fine. It's been 30 years. I'm fine with a quote-unquote new generation or something. If anything, that's what the reboot should have been. That shitty fucking reboot. It should have been like, Dan Aykroyd's character is retiring and those girls buy the franchise from him or something, and people might not have hated it. Probably would have still sucked, but it at least wouldn't have been doomed from the get-go. A lot of people are calling it Stranger Things meet Ghostbusters. It definitely has a bit of that vibe. But still, I'm cautiously optimistic about it. It could suck. Part of me feels like I'm obligated to go see it, if for no other reason than the movie studio said, okay, you don't like the reboot, we'll go back to the original stuff. And I'm like, well, it's almost like how I feel obligated to go watch the Sonic movie now, because they actually listened to people and redesigned them. I feel the need to reward them for not being shitty. Somebody else in the chat says, I like your Christmas tree, Bechtloff. Well, thank you very much. I very much love my Christmas tree. I wish I had more people over during the holidays. I end up going to visit people during the holidays. I don't have that many people over. I wish I did. But sadly, that's not the case. So that's why I shared my beautiful Christmas tree with you fine folks. Merry Christmas to us all. Somebody says, all of the living cast but Rick Moranis is coming back. Well, that's cool. That's cool. Glad to hear it. Shame about Ramus. Good God, it's almost been 10 years. He died. I want to say it was like 2012. Because I know he was still alive when the Ghostbusters video game, the '09 one, came out. And obviously he had done voice work in it and co-wrote it. That's the real Ghostbusters 3 too, by the way. That's getting a nice remastered re-release on the Switch. I might get that at some point. Anyways, we got a few things to talk about tonight. For one thing, here's another update from YouTube. They just changed their fucking policy on the 10th to get rid of more channels. Well, here's some more. Here's some more bullshit here on the 11th. So he says, how did I catch this show live? What did I miss? Not much. Don't worry. I just was talking about the Ghostbusters trailer a little bit. Let's see. Image slideshow. Here we go. So the fine folks over at YouTube with another wonderful rule. An update to our harassment policy. Over the last several years, we have been working to improve the way we manage content on YouTube by quickly removing it when it violates our community guidelines, reducing the spread of borderline content, raising up authoritative voices when people are looking for breaking news and information, and rewarding trusted creators and artists that make YouTube a special place. Let me translate that from bullshit to plain motherfucking English. Removing content, that's self-explanatory. Reducing the spread of borderline content. They're talking about when they put your thing in that bullshit state where no one can comment, no one can like, no one can find it without a direct link. raising up authoritative voices when people are looking for breaking news and information, and sucking the mainstream media's dick, pissing on alternative media, sucking corporate media's dick, and rewarding trusted creators and artists that make YouTube a special place. Basically, fucking cronyism, a nice little cartel going. We'll promote the soulless fucking shells that we know we can control. Guys like Philip DeFranco, guys like let's be real. The fucking game theory guy, shit like that. What's her name? The black chick in the van. The Revenge of the Sith guys call her Vandis Owens. I don't remember her real fucking name. But bullshit like that. Today we are announcing a series of policy and product changes that update how we tackle harassment on YouTube. We systematically review all our policies to make sure the line between what we remove and what we allow is drawn in the right place. And recognize earlier this year that for harassment, there is more we can do to protect our creators and community. Harassment hurts our community by making people less inclined to share their opinions and engage with each other. We heard this time and time again from our creators. Remember my first ever actual content strike on here was for bullying. Because I called Mike Enoch a, quote, big fat liar. Because, he is overweight. Which I am too. Hey, pot calling the kettle black on that one. And he was also a liar. He was lying. I demonstrated how he was lying. I pointed to a lie and demonstrated how it was a lie. He was lying about Aaron Clary, which kind of why I wasn't happy about it. Aaron's a friend of mine. And pointing out that he was lying was bullying. I'm not going to read through all this because it's just going to piss me off too much, and there's other things to talk about that are going to piss me off tonight. So, basically what this is you're responding to some bullshit someone else said. Well, too bad. And especially if A, they don't like you, or B, the person you're responding to is of some sort of is the protected class here on YouTube. What this means is that let's say old Matt Pat, because I mentioned him earlier, puts out a really stupid fucking bullshit video on his game theory channel, because that's what he does now, and has for a while. And for whatever reason, it catches my attention, and I decide to respond to it on a stream. Well, the minute I take so much as a bit of a pot shot at him, well, I've officially crossed the line, and if it catches the attention of the authorities, because the YouTube authorities, well, that's, he's protected class, I can suck a dick. If I were to, just in theory, I'm of course not saying this, just as an example. If I were to say that Philip DeFranco is a soulless husk of a man, and that the black, what do they call that? The pupil, the black dot in your eye there? Well, that's actually the void where his soul should be. If I were to say that, hypothetically, I of course didn't say that just now, but hypothetically were I to say that, because he's of course, in with the, he's of course protected class here. Well, I'd be off here. Somebody says, I'm subscribed to you on BitChute if it makes you feel better. It has been growing in users and variety. I believe all I threw on BitChute was a lot of my animated videos, the videos Luke animated. I don't make videos though. I make streams. BitChute doesn't do streaming, so you got to remember I'm too retarded and lazy to make videos. But we got other things to talk about tonight. I, it wasn't more than, I want to say, like, what, 6, 7 years ago? That I wouldn't I wouldn't even have described myself as right wing. And I very much found myself in often opposition. I was very critical of the right. It really wasn't until, the left had such insane levels of power during the Obama years and were, to put it mildly, sore winners, that I found myself, I said that I hadn't moved right so much as I was violently pushed in that direction by the insanity of the left. But yeah, 6, 7 years ago, wouldn't even call myself right wing. Would argue against that label being put on me. In probably about the last, I want to say, year, maybe year and a half of my life, I've had several things in a row remind me why I felt that way. The right is a joke. The left is a bigger joke. I'll grant it that. The right, it's a fucking joke. Virtually every corner of it. You conservative Inc., I don't even have to tell any of you why that's a joke. If you're under 30 and you're not retarded, you know damn well why Conservatism Inc., why, the Conservatism Inc. is a joke. The Fox News watching boomer Viagra Republicans are a joke. The Spurgy NRX fucking neo-monarchists are a fucking joke. The Wignats are a fucking joke. The Trad Cats, they're every bit as faggy as the Protestant religious right of the 80s and 90s. Just, I don't know, in prettier buildings. The neocons, somebody mentions the neocons in the chat there. The neocons should hang. The alt-light, the grifter right, as you should call them. I don't like being on this side. I don't necessarily belong on the other side, that's for fucking sure. But I don't like it over here. And now with this, I don't know where this came from, this anti-porn thing all of a sudden. Don't get me wrong, this has always been something on the right. Going back to the religious right and all. This has always been a thing on the right. As I was heading to work out of I went to the comic book store before work, some big old dork. And as I was heading to work from the comic store, I tuned into to James Dobson's show just because I knew it was on at that time. Thought, well, let's see what this motherfucker's talking about. And of course, it was a rerun. He was playing all December. He's playing his best of programs because he takes December off. That's the other thing about these. Just side note, fucking media people. Good God, what a great job. Those motherfuckers take so much time off. Shocking amounts. Anyways, he was talking with Dennis Prager. And I do think I actually have stage 4 cancer, having listened to it. Probably won't make it to the end of the week. But Prager was going on about how the left is all about chaos, and we on the right are all about order. And that is true on the right. That is true. To a fault. That's true of people on the right. What's that thing the Joker said in Dark Knight? Nobody freaks out when things are going according to plan, even if the plan is horrifying. The right loves order, even if the order is horrifying. That's part of why the right eventually ends up going along with the things the left pushes on them, is because eventually that becomes the new order. I'm going to be hopping around a little bit, too. I apologize, folks. Hopefully my thoughts will be a bit more organized on this by the Saturday show. But tonight it's a stream of consciousness thing. And I have been thinking about this, all day at my mindless box factory job. So, circling that back around, all of a sudden, massive fucking push to outlaw porn coming from the right. And it's coming from Conservative Inc. Make no mistake. I mean, Matt Walsh had an article on it recently. Kicked up a firestorm. It's also coming from the more, quote-unquote, dissident alternative rights. Andrew Torba just banned all the porn off of Gab. The free speech alternative to Twitter. How'd that pan out for us? And, Nick Fuentes going on about it. Richard Spencer going on about it. All of a sudden, we're going to ban porn is a new fucking rallying cry. It's completely consumed the quote-unquote griper movement. Remember when they were talking about us not being Israel's pay piggy? That was nice, but I guess that's gone now. Moved on to making sure nobody's cumin. I'm going to say this unequivocally right now. Porn is free speech. And if you disagree with that, you're fucking wrong. No ifs, ands, or buts. Well, Bechtloff, they banned the founding fathers were okay with obscenity laws and banning obscene stuff. Okay, fine. The founding fathers were fucking hypocrites, though. Like, are we gonna act like they weren't? Okay. The whole all men have God-given, inalienable rights, except for them darkies. Stuff like that, we're gonna act like they weren't fucking huge fucking hypocrites. All right? Porn is fucking speech. There is zero logical fucking argument against porn being speech that doesn't amount to I don't like it or I think it's bad. You could sit here, like Forney was talking about maybe having a debate with me on it, and I'm up for that, because unlike another bald person I used to associate with, Forney and I can have a debate and call each other stupid and argue back and forth, and we're still buddies, because, we're both men, and we don't take it personally. Unlike, again, someone else I used to know. But the point is, all the fucking arguments amount to, I don't like it, it's bad. Well, here's the thing, though. I don't care. Forney could come on here, he could prove to me porn is the most destructive, fucking addictive, corrosive motherfucking thing in the world. I don't care. It's speech still. It's called free speech, you communist faggot. It's called free speech, you Catholic faggot. It's called free speech, you churchian faggot. Because it's the... Oh, I'm a little hard on the Catholics, obviously. Because I've come to the conclusion that I don't know that there's a Catholic alive on God's green motherfucking earth that believes in free speech, that believes in freedom of religion, that believes in freedom in general. And frankly, Catholicism as an ideology, as a theology, does not believe in those things. Okay? Now, with all that said, rare is the Christian, period, that believes in those things. Rare is the person, period, that believes in those things, truly. Because, yeah, the bullshit, puritanical nonsense of the 80s and 90s with the religious right, yeah, that was almost all Protestants. And fuck them all. All you motherfuckers on the right that have spent the last couple of years whining about this deplatforming, and rightfully so, have shown yourselves to be hypocrites of the highest order when this issue became the thing we're all talking about. Andrew Torba bans porn, even though he's the free speech alternative to Twitter. And everybody, well, Gab's a private company, they can do what they want. Well, then I guess so is Twitter, and they can ban you. I thought we weren't okay with that metric. And every argument against porn is just the anti-hate speech argument with a couple of words different. And you're not going to get the porn ban either, by the way. You're not going to get it. It's not going to happen. All right? Not in this political climate. You know, maybe in 10 years, God Empress AOC will ban all straight porn except pegging. But that's the closest you're going to get. All right? What you are going to do, pushing this issue, is you're going to help further normalize the, if I don't like it, I can ban it mentality. That's all you're doing. Because there isn't a single fucking argument for banning porn that isn't just a ban hate speech argument. One or two words in the sentence changed. If that. What are some of the arguments I'm hearing lately about why porn isn't speech? Well, we didn't recognize it was till the 1970s. Motherfucker, I don't care. I don't care what the founding fathers said it was or what. Again, they were fucking hypocrites. Let's not act like they were. And here's the other thing. The founding fathers didn't give me my rights. The Bill of Rights didn't give me my rights. The Bill of Rights is a promise by the United States government to acknowledge and respect my rights. A promise, I might add, they routinely fucking break. But that's a whole different topic. But that's what it is. My rights don't come from that piece of paper, and it doesn't come from a bunch of men 200 years ago wearing gay powdered lit wigs. My rights are an inherent part of my fucking humanity. No, the other thing, well, you know, porn is about saying, or I'm sorry, free speech is about saying something. Just what is Anal Adventures number 9 saying? This is an argument I heard. Porn doesn't have a message, or porn isn't substantive, so it's not protected. There's two things wrong with that. Number one, I reject that as a metric whole cloth, just so we're clear. Who the fuck said that was the metric? I don't agree to that. Secondly, let's say it is the metric, just hypothetically. Aren't these the same people that are running around saying porn is this hugely destructive thing, and it has shaped negatively the sexuality of a whole generation with these Zoomers and the millennials even? So how is it porn is vapid with nothing to say, and yet it's shaped the sexuality of whole generations? Doesn't that indicate that it has something to say on sexuality? Sure sounds like it. Again, though, I reject that fucking metric anyways. Who the fuck said that was the metric? Well, it's not speech because it's not spoken. And also, I heard this about flag burning, too. And let's put a pin in that not spoken thing for a second. Andrew Torbo, the Gab guy, was also saying, like, flag burning's not free speech. Once again, it's not going to stop with porn. Once you say porn isn't free speech, then you've just said anything that I deem destructive or just bad isn't fucking free speech. So flag burning's not free speech. Hate speech's not free speech. There is no argument for banning porn that doesn't become this universal solvent that can't be contained, that erodes the entirety of free fucking speech. Now, back to the speech is spoken thing, which is a insanely stupid argument I've heard, but let's address it for a moment. I guess that means that every article I've read online, every newspaper that's ever been published is not free speech. Sign language isn't free speech. Fuck the deaf, apparently. They don't get free speech. So, speech is spoken. That's obviously fucking retarded. Not one argument for it. Now, I will say this. I would not be opposed to some more regulation thrown the porn industry's way. Specifically on the production end of things, not necessarily the consumption end of things. There is trafficking going on in the porn industry. There's human sex trafficking going on in the porn industry. Not to the extent its critics would have you believe, but it's there. Don't think it's not. And as I've covered on this channel numerous times, the working conditions are horrific. So, I don't know, OSHA or some sort of fucking equivalent stepping in and taking a look at that, I wouldn't be opposed to. Some stronger oversight to make sure everyone involved actually is fucking consenting adults, I wouldn't be opposed to. But you notice that's never what's brought up by these people. Because they don't care about that. They don't care about the trafficking even. They care about the fact that you're cooming too much. Well, porn can hurt your brain and you know, if you jack off too. This is another thing. If you jack off too much, there's a study supposedly that if you jack off too much, now you can't enjoy vagina because you jacked off too much. Your dick's desensitized. I don't know what kind of degenerate fucking freaks that must have been in that study. Forney said that last night. You know, if you jack, excessive masturbation means you can't enjoy vagina anymore. Folks, I'm gonna level with you for a second. I don't know if you knew this, but I've jacked off a few times in my day. I'd keep that to yourselves, all right? But there's been some jacking off in my time, right? Since I'm gonna say about the age of 11. Nobody told me how to do it either. I just kind of figured it out. I thought it was a fucking genius. I thought I was like the first kid to fucking figure this out. Since about the age of 11, I've been jacking off on a pretty regular basis. Now that's tapered off a bit. You know, I'm in my 30s now. So it's tapered off a bit. But I'm going to say through my teen years, even into my 20s, daily. At least fucking daily. That's a busy day as we crank one out at least once. I was cooming at least once. Basically, the entirety of my teenage years. And I probably all of my 20s. At least once a day. Now, some of them coomins was with some lady friends, one or two lady friends, on occasion two at a time. But that was some of them coomins. But a great deal of them was with my own hand. Probably the majority. Let's be real. I'm not gonna act like I was Chad Thundercock. The majority of them. Come on, let's be real. I mean, So I've jacked off a lot in my day. Again, it's tapered down a bit now. You know, I'm a little calmed down. Man in my 30s now. You know, it's not quite the burning fire it once was. But I've jacked off a few times in my day. And you know what? Pussy still felt pretty damn good. Pussy still feels pretty damn good. I've had my dick in my hand. If I had $1 for every time I jacked off, I may not need to work again for the rest of my life. And yet still, if you jack off too many times, pussy won't feel as good. Pussy doesn't feel as good as a hand. Nigga, Matt, I heard you say that last night. I gotta say, buddy, like, what kind of pussy are you getting? Like, buddy, I think we need to talk. Is that some of that alcoholic middle-aged writer pussy or something that's all blown out? Is that what it was? What kind of pussy are you getting there, buddy? Because I got to tell you, again, dick's been in my hand many a time. Just let's keep that between ourselves, all right? But many a time, guys. And I got to tell you, it still feels pretty damn good to be sliding into a young lady's guts. So, I don't know. Maybe there's coomers out there that are jacking off so much that, you know, they gotta fuck the toaster to get any sensation at that point. But it wasn't me, and I jacked off quite a bit. So I'm thinking maybe, just maybe, a lot of this shit that these not coomers, these fucking, I don't know what you want to call them, these fucking pearl clutchers are going on about, that maybe a lot of that's just a touch exaggerated. Look, man, I don't think porn's good for you. I really don't. And if you're jacking off to porn like multiple times a fucking day or something, if it's like interfering with your life, if it's just turning you into the Coomer meme, and yeah, those guys exist, yeah, you need some help, dude. I don't know what to tell you. But you know what? You're probably just that kind of person that ruins your life over shit. And if it wasn't the porn, it would have been junk food. It would have been watching too much fucking TV, playing too much video games. I don't know. It would have been something else. But yeah, it's not good for you. And there's a lot of disgusting, sleazy, fucking horrific, and yes, illegal shit going on in that industry. And that should probably all be dealt with. But this nonsense, jacking off ruins your life and all this other stuff. Come on, man. Like, the thing about it is y'all are poisoning the well for people to have an actual conversation here. All right, again, there's things going on in the porn industry that need to be fucking addressed. All right, you know, trafficking is fucking, again, the horrific work conditions, and yes, porn addiction is a real thing. But running around screaming Coomer at anyone just because they fucking happen to believe in free speech, or even just because they like to jack off to porn once in a while, isn't productive. Because, you know, that's how, let's be real, that's how the vast majority of people who do consume porn do it. Once in a while, they want to crank one out, they fire up a fucking, I don't know, redhead girls getting spanked, whatever you're into, you know, just as a random fucking thing, whatever you might be into. And they crank one out, and then they move on with their day. You know, the ridiculous Coomer that's sitting there jacking off 5 times a night or edging himself to porn for 4 fucking hours or whatever other ridiculous shit he's doing. That's more him than it is the porn. It's a public health crisis. No, the fucking heroin is a public health crisis. For fuck's sake, corn syrup is more of a public health crisis. Like, sorry to tell you. It is an entirely overblown fucking quote-unquote problem. A stronger case could be made that fucking social media is having a corrosive effect on the minds of fucking Zoomers and shit like that. You're and it is a real problem. Again, porn addiction's a real thing. There's all sorts of shady shit going on in that industry. It is a real problem. But this sudden thing, and I don't know where this came from. You know, you could put your tinfoil hat thing on and wonder why all of a sudden everyone's talking about this. But this isn't productive, okay? And again, you know what? You could prove to me tomorrow that I'm wrong. That no, jacking off is going to ruin your life. You watch one porn video, now you're addicted. You can prove to me it's the most addictive, corrosive fucking thing in the world. Still speech. Still speech. It's called free speech, you communist faggot. But hey, I guess I'm just a degenerate Coomer. Shut up, Coomer. Alright, fine, whatever. Yeah, I've jacked off since I'm born in my day. Yeah. I really try not to do it that much anymore. It's been a long time since I've looked up any real porn. Because, you know, I mean, so I had somebody in the Discord once, you know, talking about, oh, I think I have a porn addiction. Shared it in the prayer request. And I told him, you know what? I'm going to give you some advice you're not going to hear anywhere else. But I think it's going to do you a world of good. Just jack off without it for a while. Like, forget that no nut, oh, just never jack off, whatever. Because this was like a teenager. Like, yeah, you're not going to do it as a teenager. You fucking go insane. You'll shoot your school up or something. Good God. So I'm like, why don't you just jack off without it? Use your fucking imagination. How about that? Like, yeah, it's not good for you. You know? And I would love to see some common sense things done to prevent kids from getting access to it. Now, what really needs, as far as I'm concerned, kids shouldn't be on the fucking internet. Here's your solution. If you're under 13, don't be on the fucking internet. How about that? Because this whole fucking thing we call the internet is no good for you. Alright? You're going to go on social media, you're going to throw all your personal information out there or some dumb shit like that. This whole fucking thing, you know, just how about no kids on the fucking internet? Like, if I had a kid, you're not going to have a fucking tablet. You're not going to have a smartphone. You're not going to have any of that shit. You can have a flip phone till you're like fucking 15. And yeah, there'll be one computer in the house with internet access in like the family room. And that'd be fucking it. And you know what? I know when that kid is like fucking 12, he's going to find a way around the parental controls and he's going to be looking at pictures of titties. Alright? Because he's 12 and he's horny and he's curious and he wants to see titties and vagina. I know that's going to happen. But at least he's going to have to sneak around and work for it. So he's not going to have an endless fucking stream of it and develop a fucking porn addiction and you know, by the time he's 16 it has to be midget tranny granny cuckold porn or something. So yeah, I'd like to see some things done to keep it out of kids' hands. Sure. I'd like to see some things done regarding the production side and like I said, the trafficking. Just the abysmal working conditions. Can we get fucking OSHA in there or something? Fine. I agree with all that. But it's fucking speech. I'm sorry to tell you. And guess what? If you let your kid have a fucking internet tablet device from the age of 3 on up, a porn addiction is only one of the many, many, many possible fucking neurosis and psychosis this kid's gonna fucking have. Yeah, there's porn on the internet. And you know what? I bet you the porn industry, I bet you these fucking pornographers would love like a half ban. I bet you they'd fucking love it. Like imagine the tube sites gone. Nostalgia Wound thanks for listening, man. Glad I haven't gotten around to watching your Joker review, but it's bookmarked. I'm going to. I'm glad to see you back, making content again. What was I saying? My short attention span there. I completely fucking lost my train of thought there. Oh, I bet you these pornographers would love to see a half ban. Because if porn was just a little harder to get, people might be more inclined to pay for it again. Somebody in the chat says, you and Forney ain't even disagreeing by much. We rarely do. I mean, in all fairness, like, when we have our quote-unquote debates, like, last year we had a debate over Black Friday, and it was, I was sitting here like, I like seeing all these people shopping because, it's Christmas time and they're buying stuff for other people. And Forney's like, yeah, but, a lot of consumer, we like, barely disagree, whatever. And we don't even disagree that much on here. My issue isn't with Forney. I took issue with a few of the things he said on his stream last night because I think they're vastly overblown. But no, my issue is with the useful idiots, is what I'm going to call them, that are on the, yes, let's just ban it. And I will take issue with Forney when he says porn is not speech. It's absolutely speech. There's no logical argument for it not being speech. Every argument for it not being speech is, I don't like it, it's bad. Well, that's still speech. Forney says he's on a bus in the chat. Every time somebody says I'm on a bus, I think of that Aqua Teen bit where, are you saying I got to take a bus? Well, that's me getting off my chest. This sudden, throwing free speech under the bus shit from the right. I really thought the last few years of all this deplatforming would have maybe taught him a fucking lesson. But I guess fucking not. I guess not. So you know what I'm going to do, folks? I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. You should check out our sponsor, by the way, good folks over at Asshole Consulting. Check out assholeconsulting.com. Get you the big brother / fatherly advice that you never got. Also check out PayPal, Patreon, Amazon wishlist. There'll be links to all those below. They're not there now as we're live, but I'll put them in later. And, it's Wednesday. It's New Comic Book Day, so I think I'm going to wrap this up and go read some new comic books. And, that's about all we got for tonight. I want to thank you all for listening.